Have you ever felt just a little off? Like you're not quite yourself? You're not depressed exactly, not ungrateful, just this quiet feeling of being disconnected from something deeper. Like you're meant for more, but you just can't quite locate what that is. Well, that feeling isn't just emotional, it's energetic. In this video, we're going to explore why we feel lost or disconnected from our very self, and why it isn't your fault that you feel this way. Hi, my name is Michelle, and welcome to my channel, The Insightful Lens. Here we look beyond the headlines to explore what life's challenges reveal about our collective beliefs, emotions, and capacity for compassion. So let's dive into why society has made sure that we're disconnected, wandering around lost, unsure, and not fully understanding what's going on. We live in a culture where feeling lost has become normal. But it's not because we don't know who we are. It's because we've been conditioned away from our true selves. The world that we live in was set up to disconnect us from our intuition, our natural rhythms, our innate energy and creativity, our sense of community, and the healing properties of nature. You're not lost. You've been disconnected on purpose. And second by second, the world keeps reinforcing that separation. Because when people are disconnected from themselves, well, they're easier to control, easier to sell to, easier to keep small and non-threatening. Most of us grew up thinking that if we just tried harder, worked more, healed more, meditated more, that we'd eventually feel aligned and fulfilled. But what if the issue isn't you at all? For a long time, I did everything society told me to do. I got the education. I got the job. I got married, raised my kids, all the things that were supposed to make me feel stable and fulfilling. But inside, I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, and dealing with panic attacks that made me feel like something was seriously wrong. And the whole time, I kept thinking, why does everything feel so off when I've done everything right? That question pushed me into exploring different ways of understanding myself and the world. I started learning about nature-based practices, meditation, and ways of thinking that helped me reconnect with my instincts and the world around me. I also tried a few religions along the way, hoping that they'd give me peace. But instead, they made me feel more boxed in and even more disconnected from myself. The real shift happened when I slowed down enough to really connect with nature and my inner voice. Spending time outside, noticing the seasons, paying attention to my intuition, and learning how to be present. All of that started to open me up in a way that I hadn't felt before. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't some big aha moment. It was just this slow, steady sense of coming back to myself. And for the first time, I felt willing, even excited to question my old beliefs and rebuild something that actually felt aligned. That's when I finally understood I wasn't the problem. I was disconnected. And reconnecting wasn't about fixing myself. It was about remembering who I actually was before the world told me who to be. So let's peel back the areas of disconnect together by exploring 5 major ways that this was accomplished. Number 1, intuition. Society taught us to ignore the quiet knowing inside of us. We're conditioned to trust rules, authority, and the right way more than our own inner signals. Well, intuition doesn't fit neatly into systems, so it gets dismissed, minimized, or labeled as irrational. When we stop listening to ourselves, we become easier to influence and easier to keep in line. Number 2, our natural rhythms. We weren't designed to live at the speed this world demands. Constant productivity, constant pressure, constant noise, all of it pulls us away from our natural rise and fall cycles. Society glorifies the hustle and treats the rest like laziness. When people are disconnected from their natural rhythms, they stop noticing what their body, mind, and spirit actually need. Number 3, our inner energy and creativity. Every human has a well of energy, imagination, and creative intuition. But society funnels us into routines, roles, and expectations that dull that spark. We're encouraged to be practical, predictable, and efficient, not expressive or innovative. When your energy isn't honored or your creativity isn't nurtured, you end up living smaller than who you really are. Number 4, community. Healthy community is one of the most powerful forms of human resilience. But modern society pushes individualism to the extreme. Do it yourself. Don't depend on anyone. Figure it out alone. This disconnects us from support, belonging, and shared wisdom. When people lose community, they lose a sense of rootedness and they become isolated, more overwhelmed, and more disconnected from themselves. Number 5, nature. Modern life keeps us indoors, disconnected from the very environment that our bodies evolved to thrive in. And nature isn't just nice. It literally changes us on a biological level. The air around the trees and vegetation is filled with compounds that calm the mind and boost the immune system. They reduce stress hormones and increase feelings of happiness and clarity. Nature regulates us in a way no screen or building ever could. When we lose that connection, we lose one of the simplest, most accessible sources of grounding and healing. It's no wonder so many people feel anxious, overwhelmed, and out of sync. They're cut off from the very thing that restores them. And when you add all 5 of these disconnections together, intuition, natural rhythms, creativity, community, and nature, it becomes almost impossible not to feel lost. This is what that disconnect looks like in everyday life. The signs of disconnect are subtle, but real. Here's how they show up in your awareness. Feeling restless even when you should be content. Emotional numbness or burnout. A sense of longing that you can't explain. Irritation when forced to keep going, even though your body says rest. And the biggest sign? That quiet thought that whispers, there must be more than this. So how do we begin to shift this? We do it by finding our way back to ourselves. You don't have to go off grid or start homesteading to reconnect. Here are 4 ways to get back to your natural state. Honor your body's rhythms, even in small ways. If you're tired, go ahead and rest. And if you feel called to move, well then go for a walk. Your internal signals are biological wisdom, not weakness. Create mini moments of sunlight and silence. Step outside for 10 minutes. Eat your lunch without a screen. Watch where the sun is in the sky at least once a day. You're rebuilding your energetic alignment with the natural world. Reconnect with the earth. Literally. Take your shoes off. Feel grass or soil underneath your feet. Grounding isn't woo-woo. It's science. It resets your nervous system. Ask yourself, what was I like before the world told me who to be? Your true self isn't gone. It's just undervalued. Listening again is how the reconnection begins. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're just a human being, remembering a truth older than the cities and careers and social media. You were designed for rhythm and connection, not exhaustion and disconnection. If this conversation stirred something in you, share that in the comments. Tell me one rhythm that you've been ignoring and one you're ready to reclaim. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button because this is just the beginning. We're not just waking up to our minds. We're waking up to our bodies, our energy, and the deeper truth of who we really are. You're not lost. You're coming home.